Hello. Today I'm going to explain how to make direct questions using the simple present and present progressive. First, let's look at questions with the verb to be for yes or no answers. With the verb to be, we place it before the subject pronoun when we make a question. So my question is, are you going to be home later? Is he prepared? Are they eating? To make a yes or no question with other verbs, I need an auxiliary, and I place my auxiliary before the subject, and then I put my verb in the base form. Do you have a dog? Does she have a job? Do they like their new house? Does he like to swim? Do you wish you had more time? Does she enjoy her new job? If you look at these two questions in particular, we see that the like does not change. It's only the auxiliary that changes. Some of the more common question words are who, for a person or people, what, for a thing, fact, information, when, for time, where, for place, why, to give the reason, how, to describe the manner, how much, plus a singular noun or a non-count noun. For example, how much time do we need? That expresses quantity. How many, plus a plural noun. How many students are in the room today? How often talks about repetition. Of course, there are other question words. When we make a direct question, it could be, as we said, a yes or no question. So I put my auxiliary before the subject. Are you ready? Do you have a cat? Or when I have a question word, I put the question word before the auxiliary. Where do you live? When does she work? How many students do you see? If I make an information question with be, I need a question word, but I follow the same rules. I conjugate the verb to be and place it before the subject. Where are you going? Why is he late? How are you today? What am I doing? For other verbs in the simple present, we need an auxiliary, and we have two choices, do or does. We use does when the subject pronoun is he, she, or it in the simple present. We place the auxiliary before the subject, and we do not conjugate the main verb. So a sentence like, he works at Rona, to make the question I say, where does he work? We see we take the S from works, and it goes on to my auxiliary, and then I do not repeat the S here. They have 3 kids. How many kids do they have? In this case, there is no S on my auxiliary because there is no S on my verb. Let's practice. She lives in Nova Scotia. There is an S on my verb, so I need an S on my auxiliary. Where does she live? We never go to Sherbrooke. There is no S on my verb, so I'm not going to put an S on my auxiliary. How often do you go to Sherbrooke? They eat lunch at noon. There is no S on my verb, so there's not going to be an S on my auxiliary. And then I have a choice of 2 question words. I could say when or what time. What time do they eat lunch? Remember to follow the Quasvo rule. Quasvo is an acronym. QW stands for question word, auxiliary, S is for subject, V is for verb, and O is for object, which of course is not always necessary. In the first question, what is your name? I do not have an extra verb because my verb to be is the auxiliary. Why are they leaving so soon? In this question, I'm using the present progressive. And in the present progressive, I have the verb to be as my auxiliary, and my verb has the ing form on it. What do you like for breakfast? In this case, my auxiliary is the verb to do. And I don't have an S because with the subject you, there is no S. In the next one, where does she live? Remember that with the auxiliary, or the subject he, she, or it, when I conjugate my verb, I need an S on it. So I'm going to transfer the S and put it on my auxiliary. Where does she live? How much time does he need to finish? How do you learn English? Does she understand how to make questions? For more practice, look for the links with activities. You could also find a grammar book and try to practice, or you could practice online. But the best solution is to try to talk with people. Good luck!